Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Here we are. Today's our final day on the How to Heal series. So it's a little bittersweet. I've really enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed just being here and getting to speak to all of you about this. And thank you so much for all of your direct messages where you have shared with me things that are going on in your life. I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. So here we go. This is our last day on the How to Heal series. I added this little bonus episode because I was receiving several messages from people asking about their relationships. And they were saying things like, well, Jessica, I get it that healing is solo work, but what do we do if we are willing to heal, but our partners are not? What do we do? And just questions like that. Or I don't know, but I have to tell you, I feel really honored that y'all reach out to me and that I feel like a safe place for you guys to ask these questions to. I also laugh a little bit at myself because the truth is I don't know the answers to any of your questions. I really don't. The only thing that I know to do, the only thing that I have ever known to do is to experience my life and to share it in the most honest way possible. That is all I know to do. So I wish that I had specific answers for your specific questions. But what I do know is that all the answers are inside of you, and that if you will take the time to do the healing, to do the work, that the answers will start to come to you, or the things that you're worrying about will kind of fade away. So that's going to be the best answer that I can give you for that. So I have said from the very beginning that healing is solo work, and I do stand by that. But I also think that there comes a point when, in order to fully heal, you need someone to come into your life to be a mirror for you and who can show you true unconditional love. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, I remember when somebody first said that to me, like, oh, she's your mirror, he's your mirror, they're a mirror. And I was like, what are we talking about? A mirror? Who's got a mirror? Like, I genuinely had no idea. And so just in case you're that way too, what it means is, so everybody is kind of a mirror for us. So there are people that we just are drawn to and we love and adore, right? Because there's something in them that we would love to have, or that we aspire to be, right? In that same token, there are people that we don't really like, or that we can get annoyed by, or that we can be like, towards, because maybe they're doing something we want to be doing and we're not doing it yet. Maybe they've achieved something that we want to achieve and we're too scared to even try, or something like that. And then there's people who are mirrors that are absolutely nothing that you want to be like, or they don't have anything that you want. And so anyway, that's what we mean by mirror. So you meet people and they're just basically, everybody here on earth is here. The people that you meet are to teach you about you. Okay. It's kind of crazy how it all works, but, you need someone who's going to be really honest with you. A lot of times, the people who are mirrors, they don't even realize that they're a mirror for you, right? I'm about to give you a story here in a second that's going to be helpful. But you need someone who really can come to you with unconditional love. And listen, don't get me wrong. I know how freaking rare unconditional love is. We're going to talk about this. And in many ways, to be really, really, really honest with you, because that's the only way I know to be, in many ways, I feel like I have just started to learn what unconditional love really is. Like true unconditional love towards a partner. Or an adult, I guess. With Brian. Of course I have unconditional love for my children. But let's dive into that for just a second, because unconditional love is a choice, okay? It is not a feeling, it is an action. And what I've learned is that you really just have to remove yourself from the situation. So in some households, child-parent relationships are conditional love, unfortunately. They will say things like, well, I'll love you if you get good grades. I'll love you if your room is clean. I'll love you if you don't lie to me. I'll love you, if you obey the first time, every time. Those kinds of things. Or maybe that's how a child feels. Maybe the parent isn't meaning to portray that, but maybe that's how the child feels. Well, the only way I'm going to be loved is with this, because maybe a parent doesn't take the time to sit there and just, shower them in the affirmations of unconditional love, right? That they are unconditionally loved. If we look at our work relationships, totally conditional, right? I mean, in our work life, everything is conditional. It's transactional. Here's what I expect of you, and then and only then are you going to receive what you expect from me, right? You do the work, you receive the paycheck, right? That is how our working relationships are. Unless you are so lucky to have the one and only Kelly Hendricks be by your side for like over a decade, then it's more than that. But most working relationships are very transactional. Hello, Kelly. But let's talk about friends for a second. Friends. Unconditional love is rare, but I think one of the ways that you could find it is in a friend. Because think about it. Think about it with spouses. Even though we say vows, right? And we promise to love and to cherish, and it's going to be unconditional, right? Well, especially if you grow up in the South and you get married at like 20 years old, you don't even know how to love yourself unconditionally. How on earth can you love someone else unconditionally? I got married at 23, by the way, but still, baby. And so I don't know. It's like we say these vows that I'll love you unconditionally, but then it all becomes conditional. It's like, well, no, I cooked, so I expect you to clean. Well, I did the laundry, I expect you to mow the yard. Well, I worked all day, I expect you to, give me a break and take care of the kids. I don't know, I feel like in many, many, many ways, our marriages, which are supposed to be the most unconditional love possible, at some point they become very conditional, and that takes work to unwind, right? And that is, and even I have very good friends who have said to me before, I talk to people and they say that their spouse is their best friend, and they'll say, that's not, I don't feel that way. Like, they'll be like, oh, something great happened, I want to call my husband. And then I have friends who will say, my husband might be like my third call, And so everyone's going to be different with where they find, their unconditional love, right? And friends, I think, is a great place to find it, because it's someone who has their own life, right? Totally, which is something that we respect. It's someone who we don't have to speak to every single day or know every single thing about them. A healthy friendship can be a tool to learning what unconditional love actually is. And so I think that that's an important way to look at it, because unconditional love it really is what we're here to do. And it is something that can benefit all of us. So I'm going to give you a story. And this is how I know that I have really begun, after some years of healing, how I've really begun to fully understand unconditional love, okay? So 5 years ago, I had someone who was very, very close to me call me up one day and accused me of something that was, 100% not true. She might as well have said that I took a match and burned her parents' house down, which was so not true. I remember just sitting there, like, looking at her. We were FaceTiming, being like, is this a joke? Are you joking? Because this is so ludicrous. This would never be true. And for a year, I thought about that phone call every single day. And I thought about it from the perspective of what on earth, how did I go wrong? What on earth did I do? All I did was show her love and support. And I was there every time she called. I dropped everything for her, all these things. And I don't know. I always kept myself in the situation. Why could she do that to me? Why would she say that to me? Why would she hurt me? Right? So at the time I was absolutely devastated, and I could only look at it with me in the picture. Okay, let me give you another example. Last year, I had a very, very, very good friend of mine lie to me. Now, this was just the tiniest little white lie. It was not anything crazy at all. But honesty is a big thing with me. A big, 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 big thing. And when I first found out about that, when I discovered that she had lied to me, I was very hurt, of course, and angry. And I wanted to call her, and I wanted to ask a few questions so that I could catch her in her lie, right? This is our human reaction. I wanted to catch her in her lie, and I wanted to, you kind of just want to hurt back. You want to hurt back. And then I said to myself, okay, because I kept going, why would she lie to me? Why would she lie to me? She knows that I'm safe. She knows that I have zero judgment. I am come to me with all of your stuff, remove the shame. I am a locked, box. You don't have to worry. And, I kept thinking, why would she lie to me? Why would she lie to me? And then I went, okay, wait. How do I look at this from a place of unconditional love? And I said, okay, the way I do that is I take the me out of the statement. So instead of saying, why would she lie to me? I said, why would she lie? And when I took myself out of it, I had an answer. I understood, because I understand her past. I understand her childhood. I understand her insecurities. I understand what she's embarrassed of. I understand her family dynamic. I understand how when she's in a hurry that perhaps she just doesn't want to share everything right then. That maybe even the next day she would have called back and said, hey, listen, that wasn't entirely true. This is what is going on. I don't know. When I removed myself from it, then I was able to give her a call and say, hey, I just want you to know, I know what you said to me, it wasn't fully true. And it's okay. I didn't say it's okay, because it isn't okay. But I said, I want you to know, I'm not mad at you. I forgive you. But you're better than that. You're better than that. I know why you did that. But when we signed up to have a friendship, we made a deal. And that deal is that we are going to be honest with each other always, even if it's hard. Now, I've held up my end of the bargain, and I expect you to hold up your end of the bargain. And so I understand why you lied. You got to go now be honest with yourself about why you lie. About why you say these little white lies, because they're not helping you, and you're better than that. I was a mirror, right? I was a mirror for her. And anyway, I think by being able to approach my friend from a place of unconditional love and completely removing me from it, it just allowed me to move on past the hurt and the pain so much quicker. It allowed me to not waste a lot of time and energy on it. It wasn't about me at all. It was her issue. Her childhood issue. I just happened to be the person who was sitting in front of her that day. So, who are safe people to love unconditionally, right? So there are 5 levels of intimacy. And intimacy is just something that I have begun to really learn about over the past year. But there is emotional intimacy. Now, this is a type of intimacy that you can have with people that just involves being very candid, sharing authentically your thoughts and your feelings. It involves being able to tell each other your deepest fears, your biggest dreams, right? Without feeling foolish or dumb, or like someone's going to tell you that that's ridiculous, right? Some examples of that are, just having a really honest conversation about your own relationship, right? And saying, this is what's going well, and this is what isn't. And this is what's scaring me right now. And this is, right, when you're able to have those really honest conversations, that is emotional intimacy. Okay, and then you have intellectual intimacy, okay? Now here's the thing, there's 5 levels, and the more you share with a person, then the more trust you're gonna have for that person, unless they break trust, then that's a whole nother issue. But then the more trust you're gonna have for the person, and the more you're gonna feel safe with them and can come to them from a place of unconditional love. So the intellectual intimacy is just the comfort with communicating your beliefs and your viewpoints. Understanding that you don't have to see eye to eye on everything, but being able to have a conversation and genuinely respecting another person's opinion. Because the truth, and again, this is part of my own healing journey, I'm able to look at anyone's opinion and understand that they have formed that opinion or that decision based on their own history and what they have or have not been exposed to. Okay? So I think, here's an example. Maybe your spouse and you have different opinions about college education. Maybe one of you is like, no, our kids will totally go to college and have a college education. And maybe the other one of you is like, I think that's extortion. And I think that, I want them, they can find other ways to make a living. And I think that there's something about some street smarts and getting internships, you know what I mean? Like, but you can see why each other have the individual point of views, right? No one's trying to bring one on the other side. You can also disagree about things like as silly as like the movie The Joker. You can be like, well, which actor played that role the best, right? So you can kind of have a fun little friendly debate about that. Another thing is reading a book. So the other day I've been reading a little bit more, and I read like 3 pages of this book I'm reading to Brian. And I was like, isn't that like the most amazing thing you've ever heard? Is that not incredible? And he looked at me and he went, what the hell are you reading? What is that? And so, yeah, he did not feel like he had to just say to me, yes, that is the most profound thing I've ever heard. He was like, what is that? No. So there's that. Then you have experimental intimacy, okay? This is going to be someone that you experience firsts with. So these are going to be people, if you have a sibling, because you experienced a bunch of first things together. These are going to be childhood friends. These will be people, you know how it is when you go, when you are out or you go to the grocery store or a restaurant and you see somebody who maybe you sat in English class next to in 6th grade, right? Y'all weren't ever close, and you're not close now, but you share that experience together, that first experience, that 6th grade, like maybe that was the first time that you switched classes at school, like you went to the different classrooms. And so you experienced that together. It could be, again, lots of schoolmates because you're tryouts for the first time, or a first school dance, or your first pep rally. You learn to drive together. I don't know, those kinds of things. And it can be something too, like going to a new city together if you travel and neither of you have ever been to that city before, and so you get to experience the city together for the first time together. That is experimental intimacy, okay? And then you have spiritual intimacy. And spiritual intimacy allows for a more transcendent connection. And it is something that it's not about like sitting and praying together. This is something that it's outside of our realm of influence. This is something that is just bigger than we are. It is when the Spirit brings people together. It's just what it is. Not everybody gets that, but some people do. And then there's sexual intimacy, and I do not think that I need to go into detail about that, but those are the 5 levels. And so you can obviously build those with I mean, maybe not anyone, but I think friendship is a great place to start. And, you know, if you are with your spouse and you want to deepen your intimacy, then those are how you do it. Those are the different ways. So unfortunately, there are many people who are going to let fear win. There are going to be people who fear deep, true intimacy. And here is why. They want it. They do. Because who I don't think there's a human on the planet who doesn't want to be seen and heard and loved, right? But it scares them because in order to have a deep, intimate relationship, you have to be honest. And you don't only have to be honest with the person that you're in the relationship with. You have to be honest with yourself. And there are plenty of people who do a really good job covering up their shadow. Now, what is a shadow? So if your best self, the things you love most about you, the things that other people love most about you, if that is your light, then the most embarrassing parts about you, the parts that that you don't even want to admit to having, that's your shadow. And at first it is an unconscious side you don't even realize. And that's what happened with my friend. I was like, yeah, she said that wasn't even conscious. Like she didn't even say that in a hurtful way. It was unconscious. That's her shadow. But it is only through effort to become self-aware that we recognize our shadow. And that's what I mean about unconditional love. When you have someone who unconditionally loves you, then they can hold that up. Like I did for my friend. And I said, you're better than this. You are better than this. I know you don't even realize that you did that, but you did it. So go book a therapist appointment or something, do the work to figure out why you do that and stop doing it. Because you are better than that. And that is what unconditional love is going to do. Now here's the thing. When you begin to experience deep, true intimacy, your shadow is going to get very, very loud. It's going to get loud and it is going to get active. And the person who is showing you unconditional love, they will see it. It will become so clear to them. They're going to hold it up for you. They're going to tell you that you are better than that shit. Because that's just what happens. Your shadow is like, it can sense that it's dying. Because when you are face to face with unconditional love, that shadow knows, like, oh, okay, shit, I'm about to be out of here. And I don't want to be out of there. It's had a lot of fun controlling you for a long time. The closer that you come to your truth, the more your shadow is going to get activated. Because like I said, it senses its own death and its loss of power. So deep intimacy allows you to radically break through the painful patterns created by the shadow. And it allows you access to bliss and to life and to contentment. Intimacy doesn't mean that there's never conflict. In fact, the more you allow deep, true intimacy, the more you allow someone to really see you, to really know you, then the more opportunities they're going to have to see good, to see bad, to see the ugly. So you have to make sure that when you decide to open up to someone, that they are a safe place for you. True intimacy is what can grow when you've done the work to heal, the solo work to heal. True intimacy is what can flourish after you've done the work. And to have someone by your side who is able to sit with you and you can tell them the most honest parts of you that aren't pretty, that if you told anyone else, they would totally judge you, that they may not even fully understand themselves, but they love you so much and they're able to remove themselves from it that they become a safe place to go, no, tell me more. I just want to be here for you because I want you to be your best self. Like, there's no better feeling than that. It is so worth it. So I really hope that helps. I think everyone deserves deep intimacy. I think everyone deserves to create boundaries. I think everyone deserves to connect their mind, their body, their spirit, so that they can live their best life, so that they can find their purpose, so that they can see their truth, and so that they can be present. This is our one precious life. I don't want to waste it. Do you? Thank you so much for being here with me the past 2 weeks. And it's been fun. I'm not real sure what I'm going to be working on next. I have some ideas. I'm writing some things for some different things, and I'm getting some ideas for book number 2, but I don't really know yet what is fully next. So I'll probably be taking a little time to just be. But I really genuinely hope that you guys enjoyed this series, and it is all saved, so you can go back and listen to anything, anytime. Thank you. Let me read a couple of these comments. Hello, Jessica. How are you doing, love? Thanks so much for all the vital information you share. You are welcome, Kimberly. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. So this doesn't have to do with healing, but I'll just answer it real quick. It says, do you want to return to the wedding industry? So I feel like I still am in it because I consult people in the wedding industry all the time. I get asked that question a lot. And the truth is my dad, he worked for Motorola as a salesman for several years, and he did amazingly well. And then he stopped being the salesman, but then he was the consultant to teach the new salesman how to sell. And he did that for years and years and years, way longer than he was a salesman. And so, I think I'm similar. I was meant to go through the wedding industry so I could learn how to do it. Now I consult people and teach them how to be in the wedding industry. So, good question. All right, guys, I think that is it. I hope that y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.